Hi, I'm Erin from Cottage Designs by Erin, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to appropriately costume 1950s dolls. I have been costuming dolls for the last 20 years, and this came about because I met a lady that had an antique doll store in the town that I currently live, and she asked me at one point if I would consider sewing for her. I did sew for her, but I had no idea what I was doing. And so, luckily, she taught me a lot of her knowledge about how to appropriately costume dolls of this era. So, I'm going to show you some of my dolls and tell you what I know about each particular doll on how to get the best effect. I've been selling my doll costumes on Etsy in Cottage Designs by Erin since 2012. Okay, so this is one of my smallest dolls. This is a 1950s Jenny doll, and she is 7 to 8 inches tall. And this particular doll requires very teeny tiny diminutive prints, and she requires special care. So I've made a video just specifically about Jenny. But the most important advice I have for costuming a Jenny is use appropriate size prints. She has to have teeny tiny diminutive prints and trims. Now, when sewing Jenny doll dresses, the easiest fabric to work with is 100% cotton. You can use a taffeta, velvet, corduroy, nylon, rayon, or organdy, any of those things. But cotton is by far the easiest to use because it doesn't slide around. It's easy to shear up. It gives great volume. All right, next I have my Little Miss Revlon. Little Miss Revlon was popular in the 50s and 60s. She's very, very glamorous. And so she can have much more delicate fabrics that are very fancy. So for example, this outfit she has on, I believe was a mommy made outfit. She came in this. And it is a gold fabric that has lurex in it that causes it to shine. And she looks like she's going to a party. I love this dress. So when using, again, fabrics from Miss Revlon, because she's only 10 and a half inches tall, you have to use teeny tiny fabrics. But she needs a more sophisticated look. A mother who goes grocery shopping, a wife who goes out to dinner. Okay, she's not going to be wearing the same type of dress as Jenny because Jenny is a toddler doll. She's a little girl and she's going to wear a little girl style. This is an advanced teen to adult woman, and she has to have a much more high-end look. All right, next I have Shirley Temple. And I love Shirley Temple because my grandma loved Shirley Temple. I grew up watching some of the Shirley Temple movies, and my mother had a Shirley Temple doll. So I'm showing you here, this is a 12-inch, this is a 17-inch, and you can see Shirley's cute little original polka dot swimsuit. I'm a sucker for anything polka dots. But again, if you put a polka dot on these dolls, it's got to be the right scale. So let me reach over here and grab something real quick. Oh, I just found this wonderful, wonderful 3 yards of red polka dot fabric that is vintage, 100% cotton, and I found this at Goodwill. While it's great for a 1950s doll, the polka dot is too big for a teeny tiny doll, so it would have to go on a larger doll. So on your tiny dolls, it is important to use tiny trims. I just bought this wonderful stack of ribbon at Hobby Lobby, and it's 1/4 of an inch to 1 inch wide, so it would fit most dolls. And I bought this specifically for Christmas dresses. It was $9.99, but I bought it on sale, so I got a little bit cheaper. I also have this cute little container of teeny tiny buttons, various colors. I also have my little gold safety pins in there. I buy eyelet lace by the 50-yard spool because I go through it like crazy, and I tend to stick with a 1/2 inch width because that will suffice on most dolls, small or large. Okay, I don't buy great big wide lace because I don't have very many dolls that are a larger size. All right, the one doll that I do have, well, let me save her for last. I have here a 1950s Erin B. Nanette doll. Oh, I love her. Look at how beautiful she is. And she looks composition, but she's actually a hard plastic. This is her original outfit. It's a marvelous mint green with this beautiful little braid trim. It has the attached panties. She's got this precious little vinyl purse she came with, and she has her original socks and shoes. So I like to think of her as the original 1950s American Girl doll, since she's 8 inches tall, and that's how big American Girl dolls are. So when costuming any of these dolls, I buy the original doll patterns by Simplicity and McCall's Butterick. I don't like to deal with the photocopy patterns, although I have purchased some of those, excuse me. When using those patterns, they tend to take up a lot of room. They're very difficult to fold back and get back in the packaging. If they could possibly be off, if the person who photocopied them didn't know what they were doing, they might be off a little bit. The directions take up a lot of room. So I tend to just like to stick to the original doll patterns. Also to keep in mind, in the 50s, there were different dresses for different events. You didn't wear an evening dress to the grocery store. You didn't wear a day dress to the opera. You didn't wear an evening dress to church. Okay, so it's very important. What are you dressing the doll for? And we'll talk about that more here in a little bit. Okay, my great big chubby doll is a Saucy Walker. And Saucy is 22 inches tall and sometimes 23 inches. I love her little red braids. That's my favorite part about her. Her coloring is beautiful. She's got a big, chubby toddler body. It takes about a half a yard to a yard of fabric to make her dresses. This particular outfit she's wearing, I made, and it has flocked velvet strawberries on it, which I just find darling. It's really hard to find flocked fabric. So when dressing Saucy, you could use this big polka dot on her because she has a bigger body. I'm not going to, because I'm going to reserve this fabric for Shirley Temple, since that was the Shirley Temple look back then. But you possibly could do that. All right, I'm saving the very best for last. Let me reach over here. I have two Sissy dolls. I have a 53 and a 55. Fix your head, doll. Let's fix your head, doll. So this is Sissy from 1953. She has a smaller face than the 55. I've noticed this is her outfit that she came in. I don't know if this is appropriate to that year. I have a sneaking suspicion that this came on a doll that was later. But anyway, Sissy is so glamorous. Now, Sissy had a big life. You know, she probably baked cookies, but if she did bake cookies, hey, she's going to do it in style. She's going to have a dress with a matching apron, and she bakes cookies in high heels with nylons. She's very much like June Cleaver, okay? She never, ever looks imperfect. So, I'm sorry, my nose is itchy. My doll costumer taught me that when buying a doll, you should buy the best doll that you can afford. So when you go onto eBay, you don't want to start at the lowest price, lowest shipping rate. Start at the highest price, highest shipping rate, and go back until you get down to something you can afford. And the reason you do that is because a higher end doll is going to look better in your costumes. They have to have perfect hair. And as she told me, if at all possible, you always want to buy a doll with the original shoes, because shoes are very, very expensive. Now, Sissy has a big life. Sissy goes to the opera. Sissy goes to the park. She goes to church. She goes to the art gallery. Sissy has an outfit for every occasion. And Madame Alexander really launched out on the Sissy dresses. She had satin. She had taffeta. She had velvet. She had very, very high-end clothes. And her clothes make me the most money because people are willing to pay more for them to get that look. But you also have to realize that those fabrics are very, very expensive per yard. Okay? Now, give me 1 second. I'm briefly going to reach over here. When dressing Sissy, it is important that she has the appropriate footwear. All right, so what I have done is I bought a sewing box and I put all Sissy's shoes in the box. And no, I did not buy these all at one time, but I did buy, someone went to Madame Alexander doll convention and they had Sissy shoes in a little hat box. And I bought that and got several pairs of shoes in there. Rather than having to pay $25, $30 per pair of shoes, I have numerous shoes. If Sissy goes to the beach, Sissy has sunglasses. Sissy would have worn a swimsuit with a cover-up. Okay, she's very modest and she's very elegant. And she's one of my favorite dolls to dress because she does have such personality and such an exquisite lifestyle. So when sewing for 1950s dolls, to display them, they always need to have their hair as perfect as possible. Now, you know, if they've been played with, sometimes it's difficult to get their hair perfect. Like for instance, my Shirley Temple, this 17-inch Shirley Temple was my mom's doll. A cousin colored her face. We tried to have this removed. It would not come out. And so when using this Shirley Temple, I use a filter that on Instagram that then takes care of that red mark. My grandma had reset her hair. It's flat in the back, but it looks beautiful in the front. And so that's what we need when we're trying to display. You also need to have appropriate socks and shoes, if at all possible. Sometimes I'm too lazy to switch out my socks and shoes because you have to redress the entire doll to, you know, do that sometimes. They should have on panties at all times. They should not be pantyless. You can either sell the panties with the outfit or you can sell them separately. And typically dolls of this era would have a petticoat or slip or a chemise or something else underneath the dress. They wouldn't just be, they're not going to be pantyless for sure. Sissy has nylon hose with her heels. So do a little research on the doll that you're costuming. Start a Pinterest board and look up that doll and see what was in style for that particular doll. Also think about decorating schemes. What sort of color schemes were big in the 50s? Aqua and red, pink and black, anything yellow. Okay, so those are the colors that you're going to be using when dressing your dolls. I hope this video has helped you a little bit when it comes to doll costuming. If you have any comments or concerns, please leave them below and subscribe to my channel for future videos about various topics. Thank you.